there you have it. There's the finale of season 5 of Danmachi. That's an ending, I guess. It's so funny, like, even after trying to collect my thoughts, I decided to sleep on it, really kind of get my thoughts together on this ending of this season. I'm still kind of mixed. I'm not mad. I think it was a very satisfying ending of the season. It's, for those that don't know, I've been covering this series, and I thought this season has been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed a lot of the themes they've got into, mostly around the idea of the bridged minds between Horn and Freya, the idea of Seer herself being sealed away. A lot of that stuff was thematically really, really interesting to me. The idea of somebody literally losing themselves. Freya herself is having identity crisis. She wanted this. She tried it out, she really liked it, she can't let it go, and thus she goes crazy, basically. There is a sense here that Freya herself lost her mind, in a sense, got lost in love, and something that she can't have, and went too far. And yes, I can see that being a thing that a lot of people aren't going to like, that this ends with her not being sent to heavens. But there's a lot of things here that did technically play out as I expected. Like, this is sort of an ending where I'm like, yep, that kind of went where I was assuming it would go from, I don't know, like 5 episodes ago. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think thematically they did a good job of kind of establishing this is sort of how things are playing out, and everything fits. Take, for example, the fact that she isn't sent away. Yes, there is an element here that, one, Hestia is Bestia, and Hestia forgives her. And a lot of it has to do with Hestia's decision here, but more so in the idea that, yes, they've established how important the Freya Familia is. The people of Freya's Familia are extremely important. They don't want to lose them. And there is a sense here of almost them bending a little bit to allow Freya to kind of stick around, even though it seems like for a brief moment she doesn't want to stick around. So again, everything sort of played out to kind of come to the ultimate conclusion that Seer Freya would not be banished, that she would just become Seer. She wanted to, be with everybody. She did love a lot of these individuals, including Ryu, and of course, Belle, and she wanted to stick around. It's whether or not she would accept that in the end was going to be the only question mark that I really had. Would she accept it? And for a brief moment, it looked like she was going to leave. And I was kind of like, wow, that would actually be very surprising. They didn't do that. Instead, she just becomes part of the harem. And I have my complaints about that whole final comment, but we'll get into it when we get into it. But I think overall, everything kind of played out as I expected it, and that's not a bad thing. But at the same time, there is a sense here of almost feeling a little bit unfulfilled, even though, again, it was a satisfying ending, if that makes sense. Let's get into the episode proper, and we'll break it down point by point, and hopefully by the end, we'll actually come to conclusion. I'll come to a conclusion on this. Sometimes I end up finding a conclusion just by doing my video recording. But yes, first of all, we had the fight with Ottarl. I was not expecting to get an ear cam. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently we have ear cams. We have Ryu ear cams. I did really like the first-person perspective shot of Ryu. I thought that was a fantastic shot. Just her kind of coming down there, running across the battlefield, dodging over the blade itself, having that moment where you kind of see her and she's trying to stop herself. She pivots and then comes from a different angle. So you see that everybody also changed positions, showing that she kind of looped around. It was a really, really creative shot there. I really like that shot. I wish it didn't end with her coming down on him with the usual overly played out jump from above attack thing. It was like you took something that was very unique and you ended it with a typical shot. It's fine though. I thought that was a really incredible shot there. But overall, the fight itself was really decent. I think obviously the bigger moment here, of course, is having Belle getting the boost from Hestia. Yes, they flagged this from the very first episode. The fact that he's technically was already ready to level up. It's just Hestia didn't want to level him up. He just became 4. I don't want to make him 5. And so it was kind of funny that the whole idea here was that with their battling on the battlefield with the Freya Familia, you would expect that each one of them is going to be able to level up pretty well. And so the idea here was going to Belle to level him up. I was kind of wondering if he possibly would double level. Because again, he was already ready to go to 5. So I would expect that fighting Ottarl this long and everybody else, he would go up to 6, but didn't seem to be the case. But yes, boost him up. The Haruhime gives him a little boost as well, coming down to 1 level 6, Belle, and then 3 level 7s, all versus 1 8. That's pretty crazy that even with that many people that high, they couldn't take him down. Now, one, it does kind of show that, yes, Ottarl's way OP. And it does seem like he has a lot of strong abilities within him as well. He is a colossal giant. But it also kind of gives me that sense of, like they've kind of done several times before, where how since this entire world is kind of structured around this leveling system that's similar to like a D&D or something like that, that each level is insane. Like the difference between a level 1 and a level 2 versus a level 2 versus a level 3, the jumps are huge. And so it does make sense that one level 8 is really powerful. And just because you get a bunch of level 7s doesn't mean that you're suddenly going to take down an 8. But yes, we have Hedin making his comment mid-battle. The idea that he's going to admit it, that Belle is an idiot that's never going to become her Ord. Which is why he's the only one that would make her realize that that's not what love is, which does kind of start building into what's coming up in a minute. But yeah, Hedin gets struck down. At that point, I like how Belle's immediately like, I like the bond between Belle and Hedin, which does get me my theories about where everybody's going to go at this point, because the question mark is, where do all the Freya Familia go? The Freya Familia is no longer there, so everybody's going to go to different places. Before I forget, if I do forget to talk about this, the only person that I can see possibly joining the Hestia family might be Hedin. I don't think so. I literally don't think any of the Freya Familia is going to join them, and I think they're not going to really join a lot of the other big ones as well, because I think a lot of them already have very prominent character members in their roster. I don't know, but I don't think anybody is. But if anybody will, it'll be Hedin. I think Hedin would make a interesting little dynamic in a Hestia family. I do, again, like I said before, I've grown to really like this guy. But anyways, yes, Belle rushes over there. He gives him a lightning enhancement, making Belle be able to move around like lightning speed. So Belle has literally been boosted or been leveled up, ranked up to 5. He's getting level boosted by 1, so he's 6. And now he's got lightning enhancement, and he's just darting all over the damn place. And then, yes, he ends up using some of the... I like that he ended up using some little knowledge that he was given before, some little training that he gave him to use it as a distraction. I thought that was actually pretty cool. But then, yeah, I like how right here, this is a fight that is seemingly impossible for him. And so what he's doing is he's drawing a comparison, or at least he's reminded of the time where he fought the Minotaur. And I like how they make that connection there, because it is sort of showing that he has grown. That Belle himself has grown a lot since back then. Back then, it was all about, I gotta get stronger. He's doing these really, he's pushing himself, but he never really had comrades. He was alone. He was with the Hestia Familia. They had no other members there, and he was just doing his runs on his own. And it showed how he was pushing himself to take down this Minotaur by himself. And now here, faced with something like Ottarl, which is incredibly powerful, he's not looking at it like this is something I need to finish myself. Instead, tactically, he's thinking about how can I throw him off so the others can get in there so we can work together. But additionally, he's also kind of apologizing to Ottarl that I'm not going to give you that one-on-one fight. I'm facing you not alone. I have them here as well. I thought it was a very clever way of kind of concluding the fight. It was a cool way of kind of showing how he overcomes them and showing character growth as well. But yeah, Ottarl gets knocked down, not out. So this does kind of show that Ottarl in the end does accept Belle, because he's not out. And like even Belle says, he's going to get back up. He's not done. He's literally he still can take us down. So it is showing right here that Ottarl himself has accepted as well. Can you save her? Then go do it. He's accepting pretty much what everybody else has the mindset of. Maybe possibly Hedin himself possibly tipped him quite a bit more. But either way, again, I kind of assumed that was going to be the case, that Ottarl was just trying to make them have to push him down, because otherwise he may thought that Freya wouldn't accept it otherwise. Anyways, Vanna's coming, Belle's sent off to go rushing, and I thought that was interesting that everybody's kind of freaking out that Belle's not going to make it in time, that Vanna's definitely going to catch up to him. And so Hestia starts calling for help, and that goes to Lili, and Lili starts calling out for help. I don't know if this is something they're just subtly hinting at, maybe possibly in the next season they'll get into it, or later on in the novel. Maybe it's probably talked about in the novel, they just skipped it. But Lili, as she's laying there and calling out for help, her status thing starts to light up. I don't know what that's about, because at first she has one of the communication gems in her hand, and she's calling through that. But then she drops it, kind of showing that she wasn't speaking through it anymore. And I kind of wonder if right then she gained some sort of unique ability to be able to communicate to the rest of the Familia just through her status or through her power. I'm wondering if she gained any ability to that, which I don't think will be the case, because I think they have to gain their abilities through the status update. I don't think they just get them willy-nilly. I think she would have to have that update, unless she's never used it and then suddenly she decides that she wants to use it now. I don't know. It kind of it gave me a sense that she was communicating. What other reason would the status symbol be lining up? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Vanna almost catches up with Belle. He starts to get a little boost. And again, it shows how his status symbol is lighting up again. Maybe that's when he's activating something. And it was the same time when Lili was doing that. I don't know. It might be a combined thing about everybody else coming together. It might just be a power friendship moment. I don't know. But then, yes, Welf shows up. I honestly did see this coming, because when they were talking about somebody go help, I was racing through my brain trying to figure out, okay, who would be available to help? And then it dawned on me, it clicked in my brain right before he shows up that yes, back when we had Hedin betrayed everybody, who do we see? Welf stood up and he kind of slowly walked around the corner. I was like, okay, that's definitely got to be for a reason. And that's technically should be around that area because, again, Hedin at that moment was in the back line. So this is close enough. But yeah, there was a side of me that was like, yeah, he got out there quick, but technically he was already there. So yeah, I kind of seen Welf being the one that was going to jump him to last place and use an incredibly OP magic enhanced weapon, which I'm sure probably was given to him by his master to take down Vana. But yes, that's when we start to get into the question mark stuff, the stuff that's a little bit difficult to kind of splice in my head. But yeah, Belle finally approaching Freya, and Freya just absolutely losing it. Well, she first tries to charm him again, which I'm not sure why she tried to do that because it didn't work the first time. It's not going to work the second time. Maybe she thought maybe it would work this time. I don't know. But yeah, why do you keep rejecting me? I couldn't win you over as Seer, so I chose to be Freya. I'm a goddess of love. Deep down, my heart keeps telling me you're the one person I don't want to love. I'm crazy about you. My heart aches. I yearn for you to hold me. Sick, agonizing over what tomorrow holds. It really did feel like here this was a break point for Freya. This is finally kind of showing that absolute frustration in her. That I am sick of this. I can't figure this out. Break it. Like, this is a surefire. If anybody in the Freya Familia is still puzzled by this whole situation, if they're still trying to stop Belle, this is what they need to see. This is where they're finally seeing, girl, you're down bad. Freya, girl, you're down bad. You're not going to win this, and you're choosing to destroy everything in order to gain this thing. And even yourself, again, emphasis, even herself, she is telling herself to stop. She's telling herself, this is not the person to be loving. I need to get over this crush. She already knows full well in her mind, you can't have this. It's the forbidden love kind of idea. It's the idea that this thing will never love me. I need to stop and move on. My heart is telling me this is the last person you should be doing this with. It's not going to work. Now, that could be the idea of the whole goddess element there, goddesshood or whatever, but I think that specifically her herself knowing full well, you've been rejected, stop. You need to stop trying for this thing. It's not going to work out. Or additionally, she could see, like a lot of other people see, he's already after somebody. Again, from the very first episode established, it's eyes. He's never going to like anybody else except for eyes. That's if the story ends with him loving anybody, it's probably going to go harem route. I can see it doing that. But if it ends with anybody else besides eyes, I'd be super shocked. I'd be super shocked. Watch it be the guild mistress lady. I'd be so freaking happy. If he's like total side ball out of nowhere, just give it to the guild lady. But yeah, of course, Belle responds with, I can't be your Ord. I can't be that one for you. And yes, all I can do is put closure to your crush on me. Brutal. Belle in the very end, absolutely savage to her. It broke my heart. In the end, it really does break my heart. As much as that it's easy to kind of see a frustration with Freya and what she's done, this is an element of somebody that I think they did a good job of sort of portraying as, I used to get everything I wanted and everybody wanted me. But as we get into with the next scene, she has this desire for something besides everything comes to me. If anything that I want, I'm the goddess of love. Everybody yearns for my love. Everybody wants it. But I wanted to have a crush. I wanted to have something that I didn't just get handed to me. I wanted to build towards something. I wanted to have this thing that everybody else has. And that's a sad reality. I think that's the sad aspect of Freya and the idea of the goddess of love. And the idea of somebody who all they have to do is turn to somebody and they desire you. It's easy. Everybody. She's the neighborhood bicycle. Anybody can have it. Everybody's jumping on it. Anybody that wants it will have it. But Belle was different. Belle was a harem protagonist. It's like the neighborhood bicycle, the goddess of love, the one that can have anything, finally gets the run-in with a harem protagonist. The dithering protagonist. The male protagonist that will go, whoa, boobies, I can't have that, and run away. And then suddenly, it's intriguing. But there is an element, again, here of that she did have a crush on him. That she did have a desire for him. And I think I see the way they kind of put this as two different routes. And she even says it later on. I'm thankful that you put an end to this crush. There's two routes that I can kind of see they sort of have played out Freya's character. One is the idea that it's simply that she experienced what she's never experienced before, which is simply a crush. And that kind of snowballed because she couldn't have it. But it could also be the idea that she legitimately did like him and she couldn't have it, and that snowballed in a different direction. I'd be curious which one it actually ends up coming to. I think it probably is an element of love. It does seem like she hurt for wanting him. Like she was in pain. My heart breaks. That tells me this girl did legitimately love him. And yeah, it could be a simple idea of a crush. The idea that it can simply be thrown away over time. That it's not something that's long lasting. It's not something that she's going to feel in a week or whatever. But either way, they both snowballed into what we are now, where she couldn't have it. And she destroyed everything in order to obtain it because she's never experienced it before. This is something new. Why can't I have this? It doesn't make any sense. Everything should want me. And finally, having her face kind of just thrown in the dirt. Wake up. Wake up. You can't have this. Again, like she said, I knew it was something I couldn't have. I kept telling myself, you can't, stop, retreat. It's not going to work. You can't have that. He's obsessed with eyes. It is painful in the end. Again, I think there is an element here of all the stuff that she's destroyed, and the selfishness of her is crazy. Again, literally taking over an entire town in order to steal something away from everybody else. I want this so bad. I'm going to destroy everything in order to get this one thing. It's massively selfish. But at the same time, inside there is a pain. There is a hurt that is legitimate. And I do like how they kind of portrayed everything. Another thing that stood out to me, she said that she grew tired of living like that, where everything, she can have anything. She says one word, person's like, yes, let's do it, puppy panting. Only one person was not like that, of course, Bel. He never did what I wanted him to do. Irony. I don't think it's going in this direction, but there is an element here that is kind of sad. And the idea that every time I said, bark, and they said how many times, there was one person that I said bark, and he didn't ask me how many times. It kind of shows the idea that the one thing that I couldn't charm didn't want me. And there is a sad reality to that as well. Again, I don't think it's going that route. Again, the idea of you're not that desirable. It's literally what you are. But again, it's Freya and she's hot, so I don't think that's what the direction they're going. But yeah, that's when we cut to the fall of Freya. Her going and sipping some drinks with Mia. I like she says, you come all the way here to say goodbye just so you can get free drinks just because you got nothing. But yeah, we established here that Freya did indeed lose everything. They disbanded the guild itself. The Familia is gone. All the assets are taken away. All the members have been sent off. She says that she gave them one final order, which you would assume that each one of them is going to take, which again, I think this is probably the reason why they kind of stuck around. And that is the idea that she told them, essentially, go be heroes. Be the heroes the world needs. And so that does kind of lead me to believe that they're all going to listen to that 100%. They're all going to find Familias and continue to kind of thrive in this place. Because that was one of the biggest fears they had about Freya even losing. The guild itself is completely at a loss right now. They're afraid of what's going to happen to everybody, especially Ottarl. But this kind of works out for that because she's told them, go be heroes. She wants them to join other Familias. They're going to remain around. And again, I don't think they're probably going to join Hestia's Familia. I really don't. I don't see any of them really fitting in at all. I would love Anya and Heath and Ottarl. I think Ottarl would be a fun little... Ottarl would actually be really fun little chemistry, having him in the back corner all the time, just grunting. There's a decision being made and he grunts. There's a side of me that almost wants Horn too, just to be the one that's on the side that always just says that he's disgusting. Just always on the side saying disgusting. But no, legitimately, I would like Anya. Anya would be great. But I would assume that the reason why she wasn't sent back to heaven with this whole situation, again, is probably because Hestia didn't allow it, and that would probably been her decision. But there probably is an element here where the guild probably didn't want that to happen, because I think if she did end up getting sent to heaven, I would probably think that quite a few of the members of the Familia would be not wanting to continue on. That would be a huge blow to their morale, and they probably wouldn't continue to be on adventures. I don't know. There's probably a lot of other reasons that are kind of spelled out in the novel, but I think a lot of it probably has to do with Hestia. Again, the whole reason why a lot of this alliance was put together is for the sake of Bel. Bel and Hestia, they brought everybody together in order to go after Freya. And why was Bel doing that? to save Seer. So I can see a lot of people being okay with her sticking around. But yeah, Mia offers her a job there. You gotta work for a living. You could be a tavern girl. The pint-sized goddess said that she's okay with it. Like, she's gonna overlook it. And yeah, that's when she goes to leave. And again, I there was a side of me that almost wondered if it would end with her actually leaving. And then maybe later on coming back, you know, something bad happens and suddenly Freya shows up at the door and charms a bunch of things and says, I'm back. I don't know. But yes, Belle stops her. This is where it kind of gets, this is where I'm mixed. Here, for anybody wondering where I was mixed at with this whole thing, because I've been pretty positive this entire video, the one thing that I was really mixed about this episode was honestly this scene right here. Because, yeah, there is an element here that feels bad. That Belle shows up, and he's like, oh, you should really stay here. We don't want you to leave. And she's like, what, are you planning on leading me on again? And it was like a total gut punch of like, it's true. Like, that's the sucky thing. It's like these main characters, they just like totally butter up these girls and they're super kind and everything like that. And then they act stupid whenever suddenly they realize, oh, they're in love. And I really do feel like this arc with Freya was almost like a slap in the face of harem anime. I think the whole idea with him going on the date with Seer, that's leading on. That's extremely painful. At the very end, she's confessing to him and he says, no, boy, you're leading her on. This is extremely painful for a girl to give them an entire date and then go, oh, I'm sorry, I don't love you, I love Amelia. And then right here, literally saying, please stay around for me, whatever, you know, don't go away. What, you gonna leave me on again? There is an element here that as much as people might be upset about Freya and everything that she did, which again is crazy, this is partially the fault of Belle. And that's a lot of the reason why he went up there. He felt responsible. He knew that he caused this in a way. And again, at the very end here, when she's about to leave, we'll cut ahead, you know, we'll get into the whole Rio thing in a minute. At the very end, having him basically say, I can't be your Ord, but I'll be your protector. I will be a knight that will endure hardships for you. You naughty little minx, gonna take charge so you don't get in trouble anymore. Brace yourself. It's funny. I understand it's funny, because Hedin probably put him up to it. It's funny, but it still feels bad. I'm sorry. It feels bad when all this stuff was caused because he took on a date when he didn't even love her. He led her on. And then it all blew up in his face, and he's doing it again. It's funny, but it feels bad, man. Can anybody else agree with me? It's funny, but it feels bad, man. Anyways, that's a lot of my frustration there, is that comment. I'm like, dude, really? We're doing this again. Thankfully, it kind of shifts because she says that she wants to stay. I thought for a minute there she's going to say, I want to stay. Belle, I want to stay at your side. I was going to be so ticked off. But she really puts that she wants to stay with everybody. And that kind of fixed it a little bit for me, but it still... It bugged me. But no, Ryu, oh my gosh, that gut punched me. Like, put aside the Belle crap that I think just, it kind of ruins it. The Ryu stuff is what hurts. Ryu and Anya and all them literally saying, you don't have to leave, stay here. And at some point, Ryu going up there and saying, do you have something to say to the rest of us? And she's like, I'm sorry. And it says it in Seer's voice. I'm like, ouch. Ouch. I thought there for a minute Freya was like slipping into a mode to sort of be manipulative, like one of the last jab, but that was literally her. It was finally, it's funny, after everything, again, Belle wanted to see her true self. He wanted to see Seer. He never seen her. This is the interesting thing. He never seen Seer. Even when he was standing in front of Freya and beat her, he didn't see Seer. Afterwards, in front of this tavern, don't leave, doesn't see Seer. She keeps showing him Freya. It isn't until Ryu and the rest of them confront her that she finally shows her true self. She shows Seer and apologizes as Seer to all the members of the tavern. I thought that was actually sweet. I thought that was actually really, really sweet. Again, this is why I'm really mixed on this ending. She in Seer's voice says, I'm sorry. And Ryu smacks her. Slap. Then own up to it. Own up to it, girl. You're the one that saved my life, so take responsibility for it. It's like Yuri. Yeah, Anya going up there crying too. I'm too dumb to figure this stuff out, but I hate the idea of you leaving. It was super sweet. Again, even though Belle ruins it at the end, again, it's funny. I understand. It's a joke. It's harem jokes, but whatever. Yeah, Hedin all them up there looking down. Yeah, technically, again, Belle was getting a little bit of a glare from Hedin, so he kind of had to take action too, and that does make sense as well. But yeah, Hedin being like, yeah, you did okay, boy. She shows up there like, yeah, you did all right, boy. Whatever. It was enough. I got what I wanted. I got the outcome I wanted. Whatever. Not bad, apprentice. And goes to walk away. And then a brief shot of Horn. After everything that girl went through in order to make this all happen, like, honestly, Horn is the unsung hero. Like, she literally is like the wild card that fixed everything. By her sacrificing herself and being Seer locked in place like that, she literally put all this into play. Again, she was technically the catalyst to so many people coming out there to help. It was her. Mia came out there because of her. Anya came out there because of her. So many people chose to side with them because of her. But yeah, she like truly loathsome man. Saved Seer for both of us. I do like Horn in the end. I do like Horn a lot in the end. And a lot of it has to do with the Seer thing and all that kind of stuff. But again, I think, again, like I said before, just kind of walking through this and talking about it really did kind of clear my mind here. I think everything in this episode and this ending was solid. I think it's very satisfying, but I hate Belle in the last scene. There you go. If you take Belle in that last scene out of the picture, I think it was a really great episode. I've come to my conclusion. If you just take Belle out of that last scene, it's a really good episode. Just like seeing Seer breaking down in the end there, just, ugh. It was well put together. It really was well put together, and it does have me excited for another season, which I don't think we have an announcement for yet, do we? Yeah, I don't see an announcement yet. Ugh. I don't know. It shouldn't take long. I think they're going to full adapt this thing in the end, but anyhow, that's my thoughts on the episode and the finale of Season 5. Hope you guys enjoyed my video as always. If you did, hit the like button down below. I appreciate you guys for sticking with my impressions video throughout the entire season. It's been a lot of fun covering it. But yeah, as per usual, if you like this content and you want to support out more, I'll link in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. But until next time, y'all take care.